A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. So today we got a brand that it's new to the channel. I think I might have used the citrus before, but essentially I think this is the first chemical from this brand that I've used, but it's certainly the first one I've had on the channel. So the brand are called Duel Auto Care, okay, UK based detailing company with a range of detailing products. This is a salt snow foam. Now, what is this particular product? Let's just understand it. So a salt pre-wash snow foam is specifically formulated with high intensity cleaning power, long dwell times that create a perfect pre-wash product for heavy road grime without causing harm to existing protection. So a good little description of it there. It's a pre-wash snow foam. So you put it onto the dirt film, you let it dwell, you pressure rinse it off and it removes dirt. That is a foundation product for any detailing brand, really. It's a very important product, I think, because it's a product we all have and use. How to use it. And as I'm going through this, I'm going to see if I can find any mistakes or logical issues with these instructions. Put 50 ml per vehicle into your dual snow foam bottle. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. Add 450 ml of water. So you've effectively, in most lances, I don't have the dual one. In most lances, you've got a half full lance there with product. Apply to the entire vehicle exterior. Agitate with the dual detailing brush where required. Okay. Some argue you shouldn't do that, but I do as well. That's fine. I'm just thinking. Allow to dwell and rinse with a pressure washer. You know what? Those instructions are quite short and sweet, but they're not flawed, which is good. These bits here are quite important. I wouldn't shrink them on the text. Do not use in direct sunlight or allow to dry, because they're giving you no guidelines on dwell time. That do not allow to dry becomes very critical. Yeah, so how long do you leave this? Typically in the winter, it takes longer to dry, but still after 10 minutes you could find on a day like today, it was not really sunny, but it's just a good day. After 10 minutes, your film could be drying. So somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes. And when the film starts to kind of, you got bits of it, the way you can see the car panels and stuff, and that film is starting to dry, you've got to rinse, yeah? You don't want it to dry in the car. So overall, don't have too many problems with the instructions, in fact, none. And quite often I find there's some really bad sets of instructions out there that are just full of errors and, dilution's wrong and all sorts of things missing, but that's pretty good. It just does tell me a little bit about a brand when they get their labels right, so that's good. Some social media stuff there, some health and safety stuff there, some information on the contents. So it looks like primarily surfactant based, okay, and just some other stuff there. Right, what I want to do, I'm interested in that no LSB dead claim. We'll talk about that. I want to do a cost comparison of this particular product. Now, you can buy 500 ml of it, aka this bottle, for £9.85, yeah? You can buy a litre of it for £15.50, and you can buy 5 litres of it for £29.99. So the sharper minds among you will have already worked out that the value proposition is in buying 5 litres. Now, when you use 50 ml of that, you get 10 washes out of that, don't you, out of that bottle? So your cost per wash there is about 99p. When you buy a litre of it, you get 20 washes, so your cost per wash goes down to 78p, based on using half a lance. If you fill a whole lance up, your cost per wash is going to double. I used about 400 ml and still had stuff to spare in that lance from dosing it out as they stated. But use 5 litres of it and your cost per wash goes down to 30p. From doing this a long time, I know that is a pretty strong cost per wash, and we're going to give you direct comparisons of all sorts of products here. Autoglym Polar Blast, probably the UK's largest, car cleaning company provider, whatever you want to call it. They sell 2.5 litres of this Polar Blast for £17.60 in Halfords. And that's roughly how much you use if you translate it to match the same volume. So it's a direct cost comparison. It will cost you around 59p to use the Autoglim. You can see how much in the Lance. This is 1 to 5, so you have to do a bit of maths to scale it down. Bilt Hamber touchless. That costs $9.95 for 1 litre. So it's 1 litre price. You almost get a litre for it of touchless for the price of half a litre there. So that's a strong price. But its 5 litre price is $29.95, which is the same really for all intensive purposes. So, but touchless, if it has a range from 0.5 to 2%, if we take the middle of that, that's 1.25%. That's roughly going to be 62.5 mil to 437.5 mil, roughly, to give you that percentage, will cost you 62p. So at a litre, it works out a little bit cheaper at the cost per litre. The cost per wash is slightly cheaper. At 5 litres, the cost per wash is slightly more, 37p versus 30p. And I like this. This could become more expensive if you use it at 2%. So it could go up to more, you know, but it could become cheaper if you use it at 0.5. This doesn't have a range, so I'm comparing the midpoint. So it's important to state exactly what you're doing, but it scales pretty well on price so far. And then I've just given some other market prices where I haven't gone through and done all the calculations. Auto Finesse Avalanche Premium Snow Foam with a bit of citrus in it, which is quite premium. Look at the price. $9.95, $14.95, virtually exactly the same, but then $47.95 for their bulk. So the prices for these products vary between brands. They've gone the same, and then this is jumped up. Auto Bright Direct, exactly the same, 10, 15, 10, 15, and 32 versus 30. So that's a bit similar. So just by showing you that, and both these products you use 100 to 200 in a litre Lance, 1 to 2 inches in a litre Lance, so similar amounts actually, because in a litre you'd be using 100 mil. So the bottom line on value of this product is buy 5 litres of this and you are in good hands price-wise and cost per wash-wise at the ratios they say. That's a strong price, that's a positive. More market averagey kind of down at these smaller volumes. So buy 5 litres of it is the way to go. It's much better value. Now, I want to talk, so we've done cost, we've done instructions and labels. The SDSs, I'd like them to be available on the website, but they don't have to be. SDSs have to be available on request, and I could request them, but I just haven't. But it allows me to kind of snoop a little bit more if they're just easy to pull. Foaming. Okay, first of all, when we lay this out at 50 mil in the Lance, the foaming levels are very good. In the UK, so 50 mil to 450 is about 1 to 9, isn't it? It's exactly 1 to 9 in the Lance, which is a very standard dosage recommendation for all of these snow foam products in the UK. This product produces really nice foam at 1 to 9. Wasn't overly thick, you know, because that can upset people. It wasn't too thick, it was just nice. But it certainly wasn't runny, and it certainly, you know, wasn't dry or anything like that. It just produced a really nice clingy foam on the panel. No one would have any problems with that. Yeah, nice film, nice blanket over the car, and even after 5 minutes, the blanket of foam on the roof and the bonnet was still intact. On the sides, where it's kind of gravity's working more, it was coming apart, but it always does. That's what gravity does. Dirt cut. So I gave this longer than 5 minutes, but less than 7, because I could just see areas on the wings starting to dry. This car was very dirty, like very dirty. Like a month's worth of driving on roads, and I've been not washing the car for a little bit because I wanted to get it dirty for this particular test, you know. How did it perform? It had a good level of cut, but it didn't. Let's say if touchless is the product you're going to be asking about, I sort of tend to say that gets it like 95% clean. If touchless gets it 95% clean, this product got it somewhere from 85 to 90% clean. That is finger in the wind. There was some filming left on the car afterwards, but not much. It put a good clean on the car. Where I can notice the difference, and I've used touchless a lot on that car, is on when the alloy wheels are dirty. Touchless seems to melt that dirt off a little bit better than this product did, but this product still softened that dirt down to a noticeable kind of improvement when I pressure washed it. It's never going to get all the alloy wheels. It's not an alloy wheel cleaner. It's just something I observe. So generally pretty good on the dirt film. When I rinsed the car off, I then went and cleaned off the wheels. And as I was doing so, the rinse water on the car started drying. The dirt film that was left has still got surfactant in it. When I talked about this product on Instagram, someone said it left a white film all over their car, and it wasn't a big deal. They washed it off. That can happen, and that happened. Didn't leave a white film all over my car. It left a white film when the rinse water started to dry on the bits of dirt that were left on the car, and that's the surfactant held in that dirt drying off. The rest of it you've rinsed off the car. Autofoam does exactly the same thing. If you go back to my touchless video where I compared touchless, autofoam, pH neutral and water pre-soaks on cars and then rinsed them off and showed the difference, Autofoam, whatever dirt's left behind, it will leave that slight white filming. Not really a problem for me, as long as it doesn't do it all over the car and it's difficult to rinse. This product rinsed off the car, no problem. Sometimes you see bits of surfactant cling. Sometimes you chase the product out if they're over concentrated and you get white runs coming out of the bonnet and stuff. Didn't have any of that. Just rinsed off the car, really, really nice. LSP degradation. So in the rear quarter of this, I've got that fusion, and this car had never been washed from when that fusion wax had been put on there. This fusion wax does degrade on that first hit, for that, I think for the reason we talked about in another video. And this product didn't put any additional deg onto it that I've not seen with a pH neutral contact shampoo. So it degraded it. It degraded. It slowed it down, but so would a pH neutral shampoo. I didn't see it like really hammer it down or do anything untowards. So I don't think this product has like nasty caustic stuff in it, which is capable of really like hammering protection down. I think it's powerful surfactant, which is what I like. Okay, so we're getting ready. We're getting ready. One other thing, I did a dirt simulator test. I had about 100 ml left in the lance. I put that into a jug. I poured it onto my dirt simulator, left it for 5 minutes, rinsed it, didn't do anything. So I thought, oh, okay, it's not powerful enough. I then doubled the concentration, put it on, rinsed it, didn't do anything. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Right, I'll get Surfex HD, which knocks that thing out. And that's at 10% concentration versus 1 and 2% concentration roughly. And I put the Surfex HD on it and rinsed it off. It didn't knock off the dirt simulator. So if that can't knock off the dirt simulator at 10%, that product's got no chance. I think what I'm seeing is in the winter when it's freezing cold, the oil and stuff that's in the dirt simulator gets a lot harder, and then it's harder to emulsify. In the summer, it's easier to remove. So I need to play around with either doing the dirt simulator testing inside with a heater on, so I've got a controlled environment, or altering the dirt simulator to work in winter, which is going to be difficult. So that, I don't think the dirt simulator test is of any value. Nothing would have stripped it off. I'm going to go to my overall conclusions of this product, guys. I still prefer Bilt Hamber touchless. I just do. I think it has a little bit more cut. But this is probably every bit as good as Autofoam, although I'd have to use it more to find out. It feels a bit more like Autofoam, like powerful kind of surfactants that degrease, more traditional surfactants. The advantage of this is that you use 50 ml to 450 and it's functional at that concentration. Whereas Autofoam is formulated to strip off that road dirt. They're not in, they don't do that 1 to 9 thing. They'll do it whatever they feel is where it's going to work. So you use Autofoam up to 4%, I think, or not up to. I think it is to be used at 4 to 5% PIR, which is about 50-50 in my lance. So I would use a lot less product. So I see this as a good Autofoam rival. It's similar. But it won't be able to do at 50 ml, in my opinion, what what auto foam would do at 250 ml in a lance, because there's 5 times as much chemicals there. Nothing, you know, nothing's that strong that it could offset that disadvantage. But pound for pound, it feels like a good product, and it feels like it gives you a good cost per wash. So it's definitely an auto foam rival. LSP claims seem pretty good to me. No LSP masking, high foaming, good reasonable cleaning power, but probably not market leading. That's based on one use. No one doing these reviews is a genius, like, and can put this on a car and really rank them, like, from just using it once. No one can do that. You can just give your thoughts and make sure that you give enough room that people understand this is just your thoughts. Okay, so good reasonable cleaning power. Value proposition at 5 litres is very strong. That's one of the big selling points of this product, that I think it foams well at that level. It has a good cleaning power at that level. Let's just talk about Duel Auto Care as a company. Using this product has made me kind of think, yeah, I'd like to try some more stuff. This is a really competent pre-wash product. It's good. So yeah, I'd like to explore more stuff from them. And what I will say again is, if brands can get flagship products that can stand out in the marketplace, offer the value like this one does, because I think value is really important in the UK. Whether you agree or not, the people that tend to not agree are the people with tons of money, or the people that are selling you the product. In the UK, we are getting squeezed tight at the moment. You all know what I mean. Like, financially, we are getting squeezed. It's hard times. We have a massive choice of products. We can get very good costs for money. And generally in the UK, people in general are price buyers. Not everyone, but we're price buyers. We look at things like price, because we have to. I wish we didn't, but we do. So I think they need to keep that value proposition in mind with their products. Not go too cheap, because then you lose that premium thing, but just be competitive. That's a competitive price on that 5 litres. And that gets me thinking about it, and it can offer me something when it's that price. If it's 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 quid for a pre-wash, I'm just not going to buy it. So you've got to be competitive without being cheap, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm going to have a look through and see what other stuff they've got. The only thing I haven't picked up on too much is, I just think, and this is constructive criticism again, I think the branding could be a little bit stronger. The brands will, well, some of them will all disagree whenever I say that, and it's said with just how my eyes are kind of looking at that. These HDPE bottles, they're not the prettiest, but they are robust. They do not rupture. They're solid. And if you're using them professionally, they're actually quite decent, because you can hammer these, you can kick them, you can drop them. They're good, but they just don't look the best. They don't look as good as a nice shiny PET bottle which displays your product. Yeah, I just think that could all be blown up a little bit so you can sort of see it all, and the logo, maybe some more use of colour and stuff. I haven't got a good eye for it, but there are people out there that have. And I think with the D, you know, I think it is important to get the full name of your brand in there, Duel, rather than just that D. To my eyes, I can't instantly make out that's also a D, but that's just me. So yeah, I think later down the line that could be improved. Apart from that, I am really struggling. You know, it is the aim to try and ask all of the questions that you could ask, and make sure the product here is recommendable, and it is recommendable. It's also won an Auto Express award, which means it's got to have some pedigree, and it's been tested and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see why. I think it's a really good snow foam, and it's worth a try if you're in the market for something new. Actually, just while I'm talking about that branding, if you disagreed, there's something that I think is branded really well. You know, it's a big brand, obviously, but that's what you're kind of up against. And look how good that looks. You know what I mean? So yeah, you see these a lot, these kind of styles. So that could be improved, and that will help Duel sell more products. Branding, I think, is really important. It's hard, I know, but it could come. So that's my review of Duel Assault Snow Foam, guys. yeah, solid offering. On a mean day, if I was being really mean, I might give that a 7 out of 10, but I think that would be too mean. I think it would be at least a 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10. But in summary, the information I've given you is more important, especially that value proposition at 5 litres. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I when